We are live. This is the market update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. Web3, altcoins, the big ones, your favorites, Solana, Avalanche, Matic, Polkadot, you name it. We're going straight down to cryptocurrency market cap chart. Why? Because it's time for the moon. It's time for the emotional type of vertical gratification that people in crypto love. And I think you're looking at it, say, over the next 3 days in Bitcoin and Ethereum and in altcoins. It could be for 1 or 2 weeks. It's either that or they're just going to do it all in one day. Friday, January 20th, you can feel steam building. Want to know more? Don't go anywhere. If you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live. And if the content works for you, hit the like button. Hit the like button on your computer and your phone and tell your friends. All right, let's welcome who's here. Duilo is first here. Rave Song Records, Timothy, Sinterklaas, Robin, welcome. Eddie Brown, K Real, giving me some love for a show on the interweb. Sports Hobbyist, LFG, he's right on time. You are right on time. Levi Vargan, GF, Crypto Crazy is here. Fuzz Crypto caught the stream. Aiken with the notorious love, welcome. Right, Zen Anon, Dead Future Society, hi. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. All right, I'm diving right into news. Web 2 in trouble. Google plans to lay off 12,000 workers. Why is this bad? Well, it's bad because the Federal Reserve thinks this is good. When you have a massive industry-wide contraction, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, etc., all lay off 10,000 people, where do these 10,000 people go? They can't apply for jobs at the other big companies. They're contracting. Could they go to startups? Sure. If the startups have venture capital funding, where do they go? Chick-fil-A? Absolutely, absolutely not funny. And this is on Jerome Powell. Meanwhile, the price of eggs is parabolic. So people lost their jobs and your food bill still up 20%. The Federal Reserve is working with an outdated economics textbook. The good news is they're going to have to admit that very soon. So if you're looking at your screen and you're like, why is crypto up only? Why are crypto stocks, Galaxy, Coinbase, HUT, Bitcoin miners, why are they up only? The Fed's done. Been on this since December. They're done. 12,000 people is a lot. If you take the number of people that Meta, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft have laid off, you could fill a professional American football stadium. You can definitely fill most American college football stadiums. And probably some football, as in soccer, stadiums in Europe. That's a lot of people with nowhere to go. And I've been in this in Wall Street when Wall Street contracted back in 94, 95. Not a good place to be for humanity, but for the Fed and legacy, embarrassment and pivot is coming if it's not there already. Markets figuring it out as we speak. Now, speaking of the Fed, Federal Reserve probes Goldman consumer business. So Goldman has a nifty Apple credit card. Okay, it's very nice. It's titanium. It's cool. You use it to buy Apple products. It says Goldman Sachs on the back. I used to work there. I thought it was very cool when I got it. Turns out they've got some serious delinquencies. Now, they're being investigated by the Fed. Let me give you some color on just what I learned about dealing with compliance people inside big banks. The people at big bank compliance departments are most afraid of is the Fed. If the Fed knocks on your door, you have a problem. And the Fed is regularly knocking on the doors of big banks. There's dialogue. They're always monitoring what's happening. Now, here's one thing that I learned from a compliance guy that I really liked. And here's what he told me. He's like, Bill, if something ever happens or something goes wrong, no matter what, make sure you tell us, as in compliance, the truth. If you tell us the complete truth, and then we can go and tell the regulators the complete truth, that's a materially better outcome than you not telling the truth. Then we don't tell the truth to regulators. Then compliance looks bad, and then you are in real trouble. So when I'm looking at Wall Street Journal splashy headlines, Fed investigates the bank, is the Fed investigating the losses, which we've known about for a while? Or is there something about how these losses are reported? Or is there something about these losses where, let's just say, the truth is not fully known? AKA, men behaving badly, or a position that's just gone that bad. Like maybe the Fed has been watching a certain position they have and they're like, oh my God. So maybe Goldman had to fess up about something. Either way, this type of a headline, if this bank is in trouble, especially after what happened with Capital One, I mean, do you think these guys at the Fed, do you think the guys at the top don't read the Wall Street Journal? That their own people are investigating the biggest bank on the street for problems with credit cards? The Fed can tell you whatever it wants to tell you about inflation and rate hikes. They're done. And if they're not done now, they will be. And crypto is going to start pricing that in, which is why equities are up today. And crypto could be up all weekend, the weekend of the new moon, where the moon is going to be really close to the planet Earth, kind of like enhancing people's emotions. The emotion that could get enhanced is people don't have enough crypto. Seriously. Said simply. Wow, the World Economic Forum declares that they must establish a new world order. That means they have to tell you what to do, where to shop, what to eat, what to drive, and what kind of money to use, so they can surveil you and treat you like the serf that you are. Well, they can read my mind as to what I think of that. Okay, they're blaming hyper-partisanship and polarization, right? Hyper-partisan and polarized. Yeah, you're right. We are polarized. But if it's a choice between being at the mercy of a bunch of 80-year-olds with private jets or being polarized, I'll take polarized. Yes, we should all get along, but I'm glad we're done listening to these people this week. Crypto forever. CZ says people in crypto get too greedy. I love CZ. He says people get distracted by the money and they forget to focus on technology. They forget to focus on why we're here in crypto, because all they see is greed, FOMO, or just fraud. Right? A good reminder, ironically, a good reminder of why we're here. We're here for crypto. We're here for something new. We're here for price. A market, a free market. How about it? CZ brought this up at Davos. Undoubtedly, it's underreported. Can we please come back, right? When the tide recedes and all the hype goes away, the fundamentals matter. In our industry, we're so close to the money. So many people get distracted by that, and that's all they focus on. Yes, and then the FUD and the fraud and everything else. So it's massive focus on greed on the way up, massive focus on the way down, massive focus on FUD on the way down, and no focus on the investment themes. CZ calls it the tech. I call it the investment themes. Okay, GF is here. Welcome, right? Let's see who else we have here. Okay, Daniel J. CZ survived the FUD. Yes, he did. They tried to FUD him. They tried to FUD him out of business. They tried to crack the crypto market by cracking this guy. I'm glad he made it. Grandpa Rocks from the UK. Welcome. Okay. Levi, morning from Australia. Mike Rocks. Welcome. Right. Zoran here from Croatia. Bull Runner in the house. Greg is here. Richard Barry from Augusta made it. Looks like Gookie's Pork is here. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. Let's try another fact. Ethereum smart contract development jumped 300% in 2022. In other words, Web3 survived FTX and related bankruptcies. Something to think about. Moving off news, going straight to the PowerPoint. Keeping y'all super engaged today. Okay, here we go. This is your market update. The new moon is coming. It could be a very emotional weekend. The moon hasn't been this close to the planet Earth in 1,000 years. I'm guessing it means there could be a blow-off top in crypto, meaning crypto could just go absolutely up only for, say, 1 or 2 days before things chill out, right? Be careful of the emotion of the move. If you're a short seller, I don't recommend fighting it at this time. I don't recommend fighting it at all. Right? Arafat is here. Jeff, Manuel, welcome. ETH, log chart, weekly. Used a fib time tool. I clicked on the low from November 6, 2016 and the low from December of 2018. And the trading view tool automatically popped up an inflection point right near December. In 2018 to 2020, winter was about 65 weeks. It was about 65 weeks between the 2021 high and January of this year. Spring is here in crypto. If I'm wrong about that, they can take the market down and carry me out. I will eat humble pie live on YouTube. In the meantime, I say stay with this for what I call a range reset. Now, spring does not mean an end to bad weather. It does not mean it doesn't snow for anybody who lives in the American Midwest, or frankly, for anyone who lives, say, in London, knows spring does not mean sunshine every day. It can still snow in spring, but you can reset the range higher. Just like in spring, right? You go from below freezing to above freezing most of the time. A range reset, what does it look like? Well, the range used to be 16 to 20 in Bitcoin. Now the range could be 21 to 24. Could also be 24 to 29. I'll take 21 to 24 because I think that ignites altcoins. Like altcoins are in for another major ignition as we speak. ETH, the eventual upside target, it's going to unwind the give up trade. Past 2 streams, we went into Elliott Wave, talked about a 4 wave, which is the prelude to the final move. Bottom line, 3,500 is possible in ETH before all is said and done. That is relevant probably for the summer, but anyone who's going to tell me that ETH at 1,500 is expensive is crazy. The previous all-time high, the biggest support point ever, the biggest technical inflection point ever in the history of ETH is at 1,420. So this thing's like $150 above a big inflection point and $2,000 below a resistance point. I leave the math up to you. ETHE, I just can't stop loving it. It's up like 10% today. This is Ethereum in the equity market. There's a distinct pattern right around the change of seasons where ETHE will reverse whatever it was doing last season. So down into the fall, winter comes, everyone tax law sells. Now ETHE should probably go to 12 or higher quickly. Like these moves, if you look at these up arrows or even these down arrows, man, when ETH's got something to do and some place to go, it just goes. GBTC, Bitcoin in the equity market. GBTC is a Bitcoin trust. Wonder what happens if somebody comes in and takes over the company that owns this trust. To keep the finance math to a minimum, people are pretty down on GBTC. They sold this thing down so hard, it's almost like this instrument is telling you Bitcoin is way below where it really is. That's how much they kind of hate it in equities. Kind of want to wonder I wonder what happens if that changes. If they want GBTC, Galaxy Digital, Coinbase, Hut Mining, right? All these companies that they just pushed out of a moving car. Bitcoin, smaller players are the new hodlers. As a percentage of total Bitcoin supply, addresses holding under 10 Bitcoin now hold 17% of the total supply, up from 14% a year ago. In other words, your FTX, your greed babies, whoever, puked out their Bitcoin, and small whales that own less than 10 Bitcoin were like, yeah, we'll take all that Bitcoin below 20K, bro. Thank you. So much for the death of crypto. Gold, about to go parabolic. GDXJ in the equity market, junior gold miners. This is an accumulation cone. There's no way the dollar is going up ever because we have deficits. And I even heard the Treasury Secretary mentioning the possibility of a U.S. debt default. Gold is going up along with Bitcoin. The only question is which one goes up harder and which one goes up sooner. I'm starting to think Bitcoin goes this weekend and gold goes Monday. GDX, large cap gold stocks still have 10 to 15% upside. Village Cooking, welcome. Ronnie, hi. Daniel J. CRB Index, Commodity Research Bureau Index of Commodities, driven by gold and agriculture. If you've got a futures account, it's time to look at gold, silver, and grains. Not investment advice. That's the quick and dirty on commodities. Remember, crypto is regulated by the CFTC. Okay? CFTC. That means crypto is a digital commodities. Digital commodities. Okay? Mr. Moby Dick is here. Welcome. Bitcoin, probe and go. So Bitcoin's been here for 5 days, 6 days. Everybody seems to be selling and it's not budging. It's not budging. Everybody wants to get Bitcoin back below 20 again. You had 6 months to do that. If you missed it, don't worry about it. Right? But institutions are going to have to buy it. Anybody who sees Bitcoin go to 24K is going to have this sick feeling that they didn't buy it below 16 or they didn't buy it below 20. You had 6 months to buy Bitcoin below 20. And where's Bitcoin going with the US dollar in the tank and the Fed and policy error? And you don't even get me started on what our administration does and the mistakes that they make day after day. I can't watch the news anymore. Crypto forever. Back to gold. Pax Gold in the crypto market, an absolutely perfect DeMark setup, right? 1 through 9 is the first part of the trend. DeMark calls it setup. Then there's supposed to be a dip, which you actually got over here. This candle for the week was red. Last time I showed it. Now Pax has come all the way back. So guess what? How about 10 more up weeks in Pax Gold? If Pax Gold is up 10 weeks in a row, where is ETH going to be? Polkadot. Altcoins for January. Just go back and find the love list from last year, and it's time. Polkadot 8-hour chart. If it's above $6.13, hidden pivot analysis suggests 780. This right here seems like some kind of a flag. Flags fly at half mast. What does that mean? Well, that means it goes up. That's the mast. Then the flag flies. Then if there's going to be another leg of the up trade, there's going to be a leg that looks just like that one. So up only, range up only. The flag will fly at half mast. Back to gold. This is GLD weekly. This is an ABC 0. So from 2020 to 2022, gold did this awful consolidation, and the DeMark Elliott Wave tool is telling you with that 0 that all of this terrible action that occurred after the C should have gone up after the C, but they spent 2 years stopping everyone out. Everybody gave up, and that 0 means up only. Market cap chart. So we have Cardano, Solana at number 10, Matic behind that, Polkadot behind that. Okay. Tron is bigger than Avalanche. Tron is bigger than Avalanche. That's interesting. You know, why is everyone giving up on Web3? Avalanche has got a partnership with Amazon. I'm guessing there could be a rally in this like 8 through 20 zone on the market cap chart that could be shocking. Like people are like, well, I missed a move. No, you could be halfway through the move. Okay. Again, Avalanche, like Polkadot, up, choppy flag. If Avalanche takes out 17.5, it could go to 23. And you're like, well, that can't possibly happen. Well, it happened in Solana. I was talking about 20 something or 40 something in Solana, and people are like, yeah, Bill, you're smoking something. At 35, I guarantee you people will be like, oh, well, it was obvious Solana was going to 45. No, it actually wasn't. This is classic transition from awful bear market to possibly mega bull market. That pain is the pain of 2022 is the fertilizer for the growth in 2023. Is every coin going to make it? Probably not. Right? But that doesn't mean that when these altcoins like reprice themselves or we change the range. In other words, Solana at 10, no one wanted it, and Solana was dead. I mean, seriously, I watched all the videos. Like, oh my God, Solana's dead. No, it's not dead. Wendy O actually had to call. She bought it. She says it's time to buy Solana at 9. I took a good look at my charts and I said, she was right. I hope I get to congratulate her one day in person. Solana takes out 24. It's going to 35. RNDR, render, metaverse. Remember this? Been talking about this for a week. Render, we did this on the stream yesterday, takes out 63 cents. It's going to go to 75. Like this metaverse thing, this is happening. We were looking at MMA related UFC fighting, like, you know, workout to earn stuff where your character will fight in the metaverse. I don't know why everyone gave up on the metaverse. Everyone gave up on Zuckerberg and Meta. He spent $9 billion on the metaverse and everybody thought he was crazy. Now he may wind up looking like a genius because he's at least invested and got infrastructure put in place to take advantage of AI because, you know, you'll be able to walk around the metaverse and meet people and they won't be people. They'll probably be computers. And he's at least ready for that. Metaverse, like Sandbox, Decentraland, Render. Here's Meta. Okay, so, you know, Kramer was liking this over here. This poor guy, right? Meta collapses, goes from 320 to 80. Kramer was so upset that he got emotional on the air. Meta lets 10,000 people go, and then it's basically up only now. So this gap's going to get filled at 280. Now, I realize that on crypto show, everyone's like, oh, well, you know, that's centralized metaverse. You know, I remember when we had the luxury of going, I want a decentralized metaverse or a centralized metaverse. Oh, I want a decentralized metaverse. Hey, people, I got news for you. After that FTX nonsense, we'll take any metaverse at all. Any place where you can go and buy something cool and pay in Bitcoin, ETH, or, how about Ape Coin? Maybe we'll do that later. How about we pay in the native token of the metaverse? Anybody remember this? Like buy a t-shirt in the metaverse, your character gets to wear it, and then they mail you the t-shirt with a QR code. You scan it, tells you something cool about the artist. Great way to flex, right? Does anybody remember that? I saw something in a chat room that said the stock of a company that owned the two biggest fashion brands from next year is up only after going down all last year. Right? Andre notes Bitcoin is ripping. Okay. Bitcoin is ripping. Ronnie, welcome. All right. That is the market update. Okay. Okay. So back to perhaps some live TA. Speaking of getting emotional, the media has just picked up on the fact that Bitcoin is up, beating most stocks. So we just got back to price. So how much did the market have to rally before the media said, you know what? I think we should talk about crypto. We should talk about money, fundamentals, talking gold and water, like BARC, the water token, the water pricing mechanism with the Gold Retriever community on our private webinar today. I work for Gold Retriever, director of research. I've got BARC and GLDN. Let's listen to CZ. Let's talk about the market. Let's talk about the market. Okay, let's see what we got on DeMark. Let me get there. Aruna is here. Welcome. Wants to look at BNB. Let's look at it. Wow, everybody got short this, right? People got cowboy short Binance coin. I remember that. It's like, oh yeah, it's obviously going to zero, right? Jeff telling everybody to please get on that like button. Get on it, get on it, get on it. Do it. Okay, Binance coin on a daily chart rallies. Okay. Hits resistance at 309. There's a dip, but it comes back. Classic DeMark, right? You have a 9, right? Counts a certain set of conditions, like the high is higher than the high 2 days ago. It's complicated. They make it real simple. You see 1 through 9, that's either a top if you're in a range, or it's a pause if you're in a trend. So up it goes, back down it goes, and then what happens when you go to a weekly chart in Binance coin? Here's the 13 bottom, right? That's when the world was coming to an end, and they were going to drag CZ out in chains. Then last week, the 13 bottom is confirmed, and everyone's like, ooh, I can't buy. What? You can't buy on a 1 when there's going to be 9 up weeks? Come on. And then this week it goes down, and then it comes back for week number 2. You're going to say, Bill, can you take a look at my coin? I'd be happy to. When I look at this, I'm like, how about 9 up weeks? How about $431 for Binance coin? Let's do it. Brick Dreams is here. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, Village Cooking wants to know what's golden about again. Okay. So this is GLDN. Again, disclosure, I own this. I work there. GLDN is 2 things. It is a very low cap way to play gold. It pays an auto staking reward in Pax. So whether people are buying or selling, holders get a reward in Pax Gold. Okay. Pax Gold is actually redeemable for physical. So GLDN is a low cap gold play just hit a 62% retracement level at 91 cents. Okay. And you're like, well, Bill, that's nice, but you know, I can find another way to play gold. And I'm like, yeah, you could. You could. Well, let me ask you something. If you could take this and this becomes a native token on a DEX, aka money you use to pay for something, what would happen if the GLDN was something that you could use to buy a water contract? Like if I asked you, what's the price of a gallon of gasoline? You could probably tell me like $3 US. Some people might be able to answer, hey, what's oil trading at? $81. What's water trading at? Well, BARC is going to address that. BARC is going to be the water token. How it's going to come up, it's going to be used to create the price of water. And when you have a functioning water market, you can use water, you can move water from one place to the other. So you can move it from the Arctic to Arizona, where they just shut off the tap. So on Uniswap, if you've got MetaMask, you can go from ETH to GLDN. That's your gold play. And then you can use GLDN on Uniswap to buy BARC. So you got 2 steps to get to BARC. This is not investment advice. GLDN pays you in gold to allow you to buy water. Feel free to Google what's going on in Arizona. If you're curious about using the blockchain to buy water, because CZ is right. We get distracted by money and we forget about gold and water. Good question. Thank you for asking that. Moon Sector 7. Engage the like button. We need to get Bill to 2K subs. Okay. Brick Dreams, this is good, says too much PTSD from 2022. Difficult to believe is moon season. That's a good point. So let's go to something very basic. Let's go to a hand-drawn chart. This chart shows a very important Gann line at 1575. So let's keep it simple. If ETH is above 1575, the next resistance is another 45-degree angle. That's drawn by going 10 boxes to the right and 10 boxes up. And you just get your ruler out and go, whoop. I don't see a lot of resistance between 1575 and 1800. So if you can't say, okay, I believe it's spring, or I believe that there can be this like emotional reset of the range in crypto because people missed it, I'm cool with that. Because, you know, this is a bold call. Things could turn around and go down. I could look like an idiot. That's fine. Right? I've been doing this for a long time. You know, I've been wrong before. I think the cardinal sin for an analyst like me is to not have a view. A good analyst has a view. You don't have to have a view all the time, but when your research lines up, you go for it. In this case, if my research, this is like the plainest Janus stuff I put on my Twitter. 1575, 1800, 1900 could be next. And the longer ETH does this like little upward sloping glide, the more likely it is that it just goes like that, which could happen over an emotional new moon weekend. We'll see. We will see. Okay, Andre's asking about Doge. Good question. I think we all got smoked waiting for Elon to turn to crypto to sort of get himself out of the shit that he got in from buying Twitter to begin with. Guy probably risking a lot of money just to put free speech back in or do a crazy stunt, whichever you want to call it. I have a really hard time not liking Doge. And I haven't covered it, but you might even be able to put Sheeb in there too. And there's a reason for that. is I'm starting to wonder whether or not it's time to put the fun back in crypto. I know that sounds completely bananas. Okay. So here's how I draw Doge. Okay. Very interesting formation. So Doge did wind up holding 6 cents. That's where support was in retrospect. Here's what I would draw in Doge. Some kind of crazy hidden pivot analysis. I think Doge is, if Doge can get above 0.091, okay, Doge can wind up at 0.16. In other words, this rally happened and Doge can't go up again. Because what happens if Bitcoin gets to 24 and stops? Does that give altcoins room to run? Well, as you can tell by the title of the stream, my general attitude, the camo print on my shirt, I basically mean business. Check this out. We looked at this yesterday. Go back and check yesterday's stream. You think people in crypto are not looking at charts? Holy cow. Synthetix, right? Bump and run. Break the trend line. Sit here for 4 days. Make weird candlesticks. Green candle yesterday. And then God candle today. Web3 is going to re-rate itself. And who knows if they can pick up the pieces in DeFi. Right? Magic is up 16% today. Okay. I don't doubt it. Yesterday, we were talking power to the players. Web3 gaming is dead, right? Web3 is dead, right? Well, actually, forget Web3 is dead. You had to remember it existed before you said it was dead. In other words, Web3 had to get promoted twice to get to dead. It didn't exist. It was invisible. Not anymore. Not for the people watching this show. Hell no, we won't go. I don't know. How about $1 in Magic? Assuming I got the right symbol. I'll just label it. You know, it's going up. I'm bullish. Not investment advice, but come get me if I'm wrong. Oh my God, look at this crazy thing. Look at this. AppHarvest. It's a stock. I know this is a diversion. This is a slight digression. AppHarvest is farming with less water. As you can see, this has gotten totally destroyed. I can't even put it all on the chart. But the water problem is getting people's attention. So all of this stuff that was beat up, if this is above $1.61, it can go to $2.60. I mean, these percentage moves are enormous. This is not the only stock or crypto. Look at what's going on in the crypto equities. Like I can do that next just to drive the point home. This could be a really emotional weekend. So anything related to water, people who can do things with less water is going up. The market realizing there could be a water problem. Okay, Raven Coin, holy cow. Now, you probably got people selling this, okay, because you got bag holders from 2017. Raven Coin, this is an 89-minute chart. Let's maybe go to 4-hour. Why is this important? Well, Raven Coin was billed when I was started in the business as the tokenization of everything. Big Rich, just catching this. Can I review SNX? Just did a little SNX. I can go back to it. Raven Coin, the tokenization of everything. Going to be really interesting to see if it can hold above 3 cents. Right? Blockchain technology is back. XRP. No one wants to talk about XRP. I want to talk about XRP. I was talking about this yesterday, right? XRP could go from 40 cents to 44 cents like that. I brought up XRP on my Twitter and lost 10 followers. I'm like, oh my God, this is going up. Payment system. Do you want an alternative payment system from the Russians and the Chinese, or do you want one from Ripple Labs? Remember when Ripple was the SEC's big bad guy? The SEC's got much bigger problems, including its own conduct. Back to SNX, a daily chart, pretty simple. People are looking at charts, looking for reversals. SNX breaks out, retests the trend line, boom, goes. Cardano, everybody gave up on this. It's like doing like rapid fire. Okay. Cardano gets above 36. The upside target is 45. If you don't think they can do this all at once, you better think again. Crypto hedge funds have got a problem. They are underinvested. They are underinvested. You can tell by the way this thing trades. It goes up, it just sits there. Everyone's like, oh, I need to buy a dip. Yeah, you and the entire planet. Just like you needed to sell a rally during FTX and Celsius. It doesn't work that way. Right? They wanted a dip. They didn't get one. And now it's up only. Actually, I'm going to change the idea in Cardano. Let me just draw this again. I want to be accurate. Oh, shit. Forget about it. Actually, the level in Cardano was 35.50. 35.50, and the upside target is still 45 cents. So Cardano is breaking out as we're talking. Okay, someone's asking about, right? Ashton is on the game. I appreciate that. Being a technical analyst is about helping people. Well, entertainment doesn't help. Trying to do some of that as well. Okay, so IOTA. All these charts are going to look similar. That's why I drew it this way for a Friday stream. If it's above 21 cents and stays there, you could be looking at 25 cents. People who thinks these cryptos are up a lot, particularly the altcoins, and can't go up, better think again. This consolidation in altcoins, like any altcoin, has been in consolidation mode, and now it's switching to trend. Somebody looking for the hidden pivot analysis in Solana. I think I had it on the PowerPoint. So bringing back the PowerPoint, there's Solana right here. If Solana was up above 23 or 24, the upside target was 35. Okay. I can't believe that people are going to look at altcoins. Okay. I think the other example that we were looking at earlier in the week. Okay. So here's Solana trying to take out that key level. Okay. Make it an 8-hour chart, just like it's labeled. So Solana got a little mini God candle going on in the intraday chart. QNT, no one's going to stop it. No one's going to stop this thing. Okay. This is QNT 8-hour. Alternative payment systems. CZ's talking about technology. Awesome. Let's do it. Alternative payment technology. Boom. Right? 100 messages in the chat. Way to go, people. Way to go. Oh my God. Aptos. Right? Up 21%. You know, if you do the hidden pivot analysis on this, if it's above 992, you could be looking at 1287. When you get these things, people got off the boat. They were like, yeah, we should take profits. It's a range. No, it's not a range. It's getting emotional. Now, again, if you're piling in it now, it's kind of a trading play. Like just take Aptos as an example. If Aptos is at 992, no one's going to want to pay 10. The only people who are going to want to pay 10 are people who are panicking. Okay. Point is, when you get moves like this, if someone pays 10 for Aptos, it can go to 12. If Aptos goes to 12, where's the rest of the market? Where's the rest of the market? Our friends with VRA are back. Holy cow. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? I mean, I'm at a loss. I'm never at a loss. It's going to take me a second to figure out how to chart this. Okay. So in VRA, it looks like the key technical point is actually today's high, 0.00747. And ask yourself, note how I'm using like multiple different chart techniques. Now, in this case, this is up a lot. It's at resistance. But how did everybody feel about this here? Back in December. It's like a total give up trade. Everyone gave up on this thing, and then it just went up only. Okay. Everybody gave up on this market. Okay, FXS. Okay, let's try to get something going on a 4-hour chart. So here's the Fibs extension work here. Note how all these things are like pressing these levels. It's amazing how I draw these things, you know, and Mr. Market is like right there. So there's a natural pause at like 11.17 in FXS. 14 possible, particularly if it gets emotional, right? Like if Bitcoin goes, what's going to happen with all of these coins? I mean, XRP up 3%. That's really not a big move. It's not a big move. And Wrong Again says, I can't believe Aptos. Exactly. When you're coming out of a bear market like you did in 2009 in stocks, the stuff that rallied the most is the stuff that people liked the least. Now, Optimism may be an exception because Optimism has like, you know, unique technological functionality. But I mean, if you look at this on like, say, a 4-hour chart, it's a reminder that things can always go farther than you think. In other words, this crypto market is about to get emotional, right? Like I can feel it. I can feel it in my view count. I can feel it. People are just like, hey, man, we better get our shit together. We better stop like thinking this is a bear market and wake up, right? Like retail hasn't touched this thing yet. I think the only people who have touched this thing are like mid-sized whales per what we saw earlier. Like big hedge funds obviously don't have it or it wouldn't be trading like this. And retail is like, oh, I think I missed it. Well, you haven't missed anything. Probably what's going to happen is you're going to have a shot up to 2.5 and then some kind of correction. But I would not underestimate the nature of what can go on here, particularly since I've been pounding the table on this for multiple days. Okay, ICP. Okay, so ICP is very popular, as I understand it. See if I can get ICP up here. Okay, so ICP, a good reminder. Some very powerful bottoming signals. The bottom was confirmed last week. You could easily talk yourself out of liking this because it's up. The weekly doesn't have any resistance until 8.25. Notice on ICP, there's a 13 and a 9 top, but it doesn't back off. So I know there's resistance here and there's DeMark signals, but no one cares. Are they trading the signals on the weekly chart? Or are they trading the bullish weekly signals or the sort of more cautious daily signals? If you wake up tomorrow and they're trading the bullish weekly signals, okay, again, a range reset. The last range in ICP was between 20 and 25. Then you had Celsius and FTX. Now what? Now, I don't think the range is between, I don't think the range is going to be 1.6 on the downside, but maybe it's 8.5 on the upside. Maybe that's where the range gets reset. Okay. Master Hart says, help us to pick. Phoenix says, Uranus and Taurus, also a new moon. Had written myself a note to watch for financial volatility. It's happening. Thank you. Welcome to the show. Please come back. Kim Craig is here, tuning in late. You're not too late. You're not too early. You're right on time. Because the answer to when moon could be this weekend. It could be Bitcoin up and then altcoins just smoke, like this little pattern that we're doing, particularly with ETH. Let's go back to ETH for just 1 second. Let's not forget the big man. Oh, ETH up 5%. Look at that. Just can't stop loving it. Okay, I was talking about ETH going to 1900 on my Gann chart. And if you're just tuning in, here's the news. This is ETH on a 4-hour chart. ETH is Web3. Everybody forgot about Web3. Everybody thinks ETH at 1600 is expensive. ETH at 1600 isn't expensive. Web3 is back. Web3 is here, and no one wants to trade it. So if it's above 1600, it can go to 1920. And I've got that on TradingView and on a hand-drawn chart where if ETH is above 1575, I don't see any real resistance until like 1800 or 1900. So no matter how you cut this, right? No matter how you cut this, there's upside here. Fernando says LFG. Okay, if you want help picking cryptos, that's investment advice. Can't really do that, but go back. Go back here for a second. Just run down the list. XRP, a lot of people like it. It's funny how you can't talk about it going up. Cardano, another one people like. But look at this. Avalanche, just is like kick-ass layer 1 Web3 with a partnership with Amazon, has a lower market cap than Tron and Litecoin. Now, I like Litecoin. Don't get me wrong. But Web3 is way down there. I mean, way down there. Like wrapped Bitcoin traveling on the Ethereum network that was, frequently used in DeFi has been pushed out of a car. Nobody wants ETH-based Bitcoin. Huh, really? I mean, I don't want to say it's a dartboard, but Polkadot should not be at 6. Matic should not be at $1. Solana could probably go up $20 more. Again, please, it's not, don't lose your mind, right? You got to use your imagination. Let's look at Cardano. I mean, BitBoy's looking at Cardano. BitBoy's been talking about Cardano for a long time. It went to 25 cents. It went to $3. Everyone loved it. It went to 25 cents. Everyone hated it. I mean, if you just say, okay, I don't know what to do. You know what? You do know what to do. You do. I had a statistics class in business school. The guy walked into the room, University of Texas, and goes, rule number 1 of statistics, plot the data. I'm like, you know what? I like this guy. He's like, make a chart. Okay, let's make a chart. You know, this is Cardano. It's a layer 1. Got an interesting founder. Got a huge YouTube following. It was at 30 cents. It went to $3, and now it's back at 30 cents. It's like you could do this for the whole market. And if you got a book and opened it up or just read a web article, you could be like, wow, that's what Cardano does. They're a layer 1, but they want to do things with healthcare, and you can read about their founder. And I don't know what to do is the biggest lie in crypto. You do know what to do. You're smarter than you think you are. Now, the volatility is scary. I get it. Hence why we have to show the market update. Like the volatility in GLDN and BARC is scary. Hence the twice-a-week private webinar. But volatility can be your friend, particularly when people get too bearish or when people don't understand that paying for water with gold is going to be something new and exciting that people should focus on, per what CZ said. Focus on the functionality, not the greed. When you have Cardano like this, it's like, okay, well, everyone loved it. Everyone hated it. Now, can we go back to what it actually is? I remember I was at Consensus a year ago, a big crypto conference in Austin. The Cardano, like, I don't want to call it a booth. It was like the Cardano, like, lounge was packed. I had to, like, push people out of the way to get a water bottle. You're like, wow, Bill, I want to know more. Well, check it out. You know, you don't need fancy chart software to see that this was all the way up, all the way down. And if it still has a value proposition, look at it. Okay. James giving me some love, saying that, you know, he likes watching our YouTube channel for the market update. Okay. Mr. Moby Dick wants to talk about the flippening for ETH, meaning ETH could gap up so high, so hard, it could blow people's minds. There is a Shanghai upgrade that, you know, one of my most loyal followers, Richard Barry, has been talking about. You know, what happens if people wake up and go, oh my God, I need to own ETH. ETH is too cheap. The supply of ETH is vanishing. Right? Kim Craig said the secret to manifesting is knowing what you want. I like that. Okay. The Fuzz Crypto is saying we got 114 people in here. Let's hit the like button. Kim Craig wants me to bring back the Zen Bowl. Okay. That's possible. Lord Huta is here. Welcome from Africa. Nice to have you. Nice to have you. All right. If I missed anybody, I want to just wish you well. Okay. One last request. BLY. I don't know. Is that crypto? All right. We'll have to clarify whether BLY is stocks. Here's the bottom line. New moon coming up. Crypto can get emotional. ETH is too cheap. It's not investment advice, but it's time to start thinking about crypto. It's time to start thinking about crypto as an investing asset in which people are underinvested. That means they're supposed to have a pound of crypto and they've only got 4 ounces. Or they're supposed to have a bag of crypto and they've only got a half a bag. And they got to fill up their bag quickly. They can't miss another up move. So watch for this thing to get really emotional on the upside and then maybe correct after that. So traders, get on your game. Investors, now is the time to drop the fear of 2020 through 2022 and embrace spring. This is Bill Noble. I'll see you next week.